All right, Kerry Davies, thanks for doing this, man.
No problem.
So why don't you tell everyone a little bit about where you're from and your business really quickly?
Yeah, I'm from Victoria, BC. Been a realtor for 25 plus years. Born and raised in Victoria. Had two or three careers, and
Mhm.
this will be my last one. It's my guess.
Where are you at production wise for the last year or so?
I the last year, the markets I found a little bit challenging.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I mean, my typical business is, kind of.
I like your ringtone, by the
Oh, thanks.
way.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. Um, um, I kind of track my business on like a 12-month cycle as opposed to calendar years, right? And I had got up to about one point uh, over 40 ends, well, almost 50 at one point last year. But I had to sort of gear back things just a little bit because I lost a buyer's agent. And part of it was just kind of regrouping around getting an ISA up and running and, sort of a couple other things. So a little bit reinventing myself. So I think I felt like, and I think when you do that, you do take a couple of steps backwards before you really move forward. But I think this year is going to be just really, really good.
Yeah, awesome. And I think that's when we started working more closely together, was around that time when the buyer's agent left. And because I know we've been obviously connected for a little while, but then that happened and you kind of wanted to build a little bit more pieces, which we'll get into. So um, yeah, why don't you talk a little bit about your experience with Agent Launch and where we've made it to today?
Yeah, it's been really positive. Uh, in a couple of ways. First of all, with the assistant with the YouTube channel, but just the whole process of where to find the ISA, the training that was. Thank goodness there was some training provided by you guys because I've been so busy. I thought, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this, right? But anyways, the mentoring she got, I ended up hiring an ISA from South Africa, which really wasn't my goal because I was concerned about the time change. But she was such a great candidate. I just and plus the South Africans have like a very pleasant accent. It's kind of hard to figure out where they're from. You know what I mean? It might be English, they might not be. I don't know. And she's just had a really nice manner about her. So, but the best part was, the program for training. It's all laid out, and I've been slowly working through it, putting more pieces on her plate, type of thing. But really, between Haley and your ISA's mentoring her, that's put me months ahead because it would have taken me a month to get her to where you guys got her in really a week.
Yeah, that's part of this program we put a lot of emphasis on, and even recently we I don't know if you know this because this was just kind of a bit before you got your ISA, but or sorry, a bit after. But we actually brought the whole recruiting process internal now. So we are working with them a little bit, but we also are running our own ads all through South Africa and Latin America, and that's been cool. Like we've brought on a full-time recruiter now just for that,
Oh, okay.
just to keep up with the demand, and the results have been great. So it's always nice to hear that you had a successful candidate, and the training was helpful because I always try and outline this problem to people is like some people want to wait until they're so busy that they need an ISA, but then you're too busy to like find them and train them properly.
Yeah.
So it's always a good idea to get them early, and then we'll take the load on getting them up to speed so you can focus on transactions. And I think that just happened for you, what you were telling me
Yeah,
before.
pretty much. Yeah, it was just like, I mean, in an ideal world, it probably would have better to have brought her in the summer when it's maybe a little bit slower. But and in some respects, it's just kind of busy now. So maybe that's good for her as well. Yeah, so far I'm happy with my selection. And then, like I said, I just, without the training from agent launch, it wouldn't have been a disaster, but I think she would have got quite frustrated, right? Because,
Yeah.
I just, me trying to find the time. I mean,
The systems and the technical stuff, and then the scripting, it can be a lot. And that's, that's what we always talk about, is like, it's one thing to like hire someone, but it's another thing to train them. And then it's another thing to hold them accountable. And it just becomes, it can be overwhelming without the right support, for sure.
Yeah. So I'm just like over the moon with it, really.
And she just started.
Yeah, she started on the 15th of March. Yeah. So we're kind of, what, 3 weeks in. She's already successfully had set up one client with us who Gina and I Zoomed with last night, had a good meeting with a couple, good budget, up to about 1.3 million for a property. So she's had a win in the first 3 weeks, which is not bad.
That's great. I mean, usually it takes at least a couple weeks to, start really seeing things come through. And the fact that you got, like, based on what you're telling me, it sounds like you're going to be working with them. So
yeah, I hope so. I think the Zoom went really well last night. The reason we didn't meet with them in person is because they've got triplets. So they got 7-year-old triplets, and then they got like a 4-year-old. They're all boys. So I said, probably easier if we just Zoom, right? And she said, yeah.
Totally. Yeah, that's awesome. And so, as far as other results, I know you had a deal come through from YouTube recently. Some leads come through from there that are maybe in the pipeline. You want to speak a little bit to that? I know you've been doing PPC with us for a while.
Yeah.
And then you've been to our kind of ownership and leverage program. That's where the ISA came from and everything like that. But maybe if you want to speak to a little bit about like the success you've had with both PPC and YouTube.
Yeah. With the pay-per-click, I found the quality of leads since I moved over to you guys has been better. I have more access to discuss, areas that are interest or areas that aren't of interest, that sort of thing. So, we've had I could tell you lots of success stories, from one guy just going to the website and saying, hey, we had a realtor not happy with that person. We want to go look at this property. And, we literally just showed him that property and then bought it. That's how often does that happen, right? But, it does. But with YouTube, that's something that I've, particularly in the last 6 months, I'm starting to finally get some traction with it. As you know, it's kind of a slow go, but I've, as you know, I got to talk to I've got an actor from Hollywood who actually will be here on Monday with his family. There's still some challenges for them to buy because they're still American citizens, so they're waiting to get some sort of residency here. Basically, I got an email saying, watch your YouTube videos. We'd like to meet you. That's the short version of it. And I had another one. I can't even remember who it was. The ISA transfer. She had watched my the couple that we Zoomed with last night. She had been watching my YouTube videos as well. So yeah, so I've probably got a handful of good leads through YouTube, and they're effectively really cheap leads. It's just my time and paying an editor to edit the videos, and then it's kind of evergreen after that. So but all in all, the pay-per-click, super happy with that. My plan is over probably the next year to start increase my budget to get more leads into the funnel. I've got another buyer's agent working with me now who's just sort of come on board. So between the ISA, having a buyer's agent, I feel like I can free myself up to focus more on listings and doing more YouTube.
That's the blueprint. I love it.
Yeah, I'm glad I got it right.
Yeah, I was excited when you said, you were on vacation and you got this actor.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Big name coming who watched
Yeah.
your videos and is now moving there with you, which is exciting. Assuming there's no issues with their residency and whatnot, but
yeah, it might take a while, but anyways, that's the nature of real estate, right? What you do today pays off sometimes in a couple of years. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, totally. And I think it's always healthy to look at it that way. But I just want to point out that, the program and everything we're doing is designed to have the different channels combined. So the PPC and the YouTube work, hand in hand. Like you just said, like they came through PPC. So we sent them some videos. They checked out your videos. You built trust with them. You got on a Zoom. Like that's the flow that we're looking to really build on. And when you put yourself in a position of leverage and you can create more YouTube channel or YouTube videos, I think that's when that can really go to the next level. So I'm excited because you're taking action on the videos, which is great.
Well, yeah, it's not as much action as I'd like, but I just feel like I'm going to have more time going forward. I've cleared off a bunch of buyers. I've handed a bunch over to Gina, and so now I can look at my days and go, hey, I don't have to run around town with 2 or 3 buyers. Because the other thing, because as you know, everything's multiple offers, right? So it's not just, write the offer and submit it. You got to write the offer, then you got to wait to the presentation time. Then you got to harass the listing realtor to see if your offer's in play and all the rest of it. So I find the whole day just gets shot. Whereas before, when in a normal market, you would submit your offer, have a chat with the listing realtor and have a bit of negotiations and you're done. Mm-hmm. Not the case right now.
Yeah, it makes sense.
The other thing I should mention, Eric, is I've been getting recently a lot of seller inquiries.
Okay.
So that and I was wondering how am I getting them? Well, of course, they're coming through pay-per-click, right? What I don't have is the proper process in place to do the mail follow-up. So that's kind of on my books to do it. I've talked to my assistant about doing it in some fashion. Because as you know, you usually just get an address, right? But I think there's some gold in there as well that I haven't tapped into.
And you've seen our template for the letters.
Yes, I have. Yeah.
It's just about putting that process on. Yeah, your assistant if you can, and
I just got to take half a day, get it in place, and then.
Well, it sounds like you're really moving in the right direction. I'm really excited to hear that, you're excited about this year and you think it's going to be a really good one. Because it sounds like you've got starting to get really a lot of the pieces in place.
Yeah.
So what would you say to someone who, because we get this a lot, right? I always say this, I think 95% of real estate marketing agencies don't know what they're doing. And there's a very small group of us that I would say do. What would you say to someone who's on the fence about exploring potentially working with us, potentially online marketing? Because I know there's a lot of people, like most people who come to me have some trauma. They have some bad experiences with different agencies who offered part of the solution. What would you say to someone who's never really done this stuff or had a bad experience that's a little bit on the fence?
Well, I would just say sign up. There's really not much to think about, but yeah, I get it too, because I haven't signed up. It's like being a realtor. There's so many shiny objects for you, right? And what I guess what I really liked about your group, agent launch in general, and I was kind of a part of it before you started calling it agent launch, so I've been around for a little bit. I got introduced to you through another friend who's a realtor. But what I like about the big part of it is you guys are realtors as well, right? You're still actually, still out doing stuff. You're in touch. You collaborate with a number of realtors, whereas other ones I've had in the past, really they're more consultants, or, they're not, they might've been in the business at one point in time, but they're a little bit out of touch. I didn't have as good access to them. With you, I mean, I try not to access you because I know you're busy, but Haley or I think Alex, they're always available. Yeah. So they're, it's just, and plus your program's really good. I mean, and if I get stuck on something, I just go into the program, search around. Sure enough, I'll find either a PDF or a video on whatever issue I have. And but for somebody starting out, assuming they already got the assistant, because you need an assistant, the next step is driving some leads to you, and then really then getting an ISA to nurture those leads for you. Otherwise, you'll cap at a certain level. You can't multiply your business without help.
Exactly. Ownership and leverage.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And hiring good people. That's the critical thing. I mean, it's not hard to find people. It's harder to find good people.
Yes, it is. And people are everything. Can't grow without them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think you guys really helped me with that. I already had hired the assistant, because I have, as I have a remote assistant as well in the Philippines, and had it for 4+ years. So I was already kind of used to this kind of hiring remote people. But plus, you guys kind of provided me the blueprint of here's what the job should be. So I just kind of massaged it a bit, gave them the ad to post, and they came up with some really good candidates. I mean, I had a bit of a hard choice to pick. There's 2 or 3 that I would have picked, and but I'm so far really happy with the lady that I've got working for me.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, Kerry, I look forward to continuing working together and expanding on this as the year goes on. But I really appreciate you coming on here and doing this. So thanks a lot, man. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, no, I just appreciate everything you've done for my business, Eric. And I'm just really looking forward to kind of the next 12 months in particular, as I sort of get my business to evolve where I want it, where I can work on it as opposed to continue to work in it. And I mean, I want to bring on some more partners and expand it that way. So that's part of my vision for the next probably over the next 6 months too. So it's fun. YouTube videos are is what I love doing them. So that's fun.
I love that you love it too, because I think it comes across, in the video. So I look forward to continuing expanding the ISA program and the YouTube side of things, and just hopefully we can start increasing the budget a little bit in the future and get the volume up too, and should be a good year.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Thanks very much, Eric. I really appreciate everything you've done.
Thanks so much, Kerry. Appreciate your time.
All right.